Hi, this is Vlad from Single Stop for Software Quality. As I promised, I'm going to make a short video about how did I land my first QA job. Um, so here it is. It was about 20 years ago. For people who might remember, it was early 2000, and we had a .com bust. And what that means is there weren't any jobs available. All the software jobs were doomed. And here I am, with the college degree, 4-year college degree, computer science, and there are no jobs available. And so searching for anything I could possibly find. And then a friend calls me up and says, "Hey, we have an opening in my startup for quality assurance engineer, quality assurance." And I was like, "What's?" Well, actually, he actually said QA at first, and I'm like, "What's QA?" He's like, "Well, go look it up." I went and looked it up on the web, quality assurance. I was like, "Okay, I'll take it." I have no idea what it is. He didn't even send me a description. So I had a first initial interview with I think like CEO of the company, where he talked a little bit about the job, asked me what my experience was, and I had none. I didn't really even had a programming job before. He says that this is mostly manual, no automation experience needed, but we might ask you to write a little script just to do a little test. So I got into interview. I had a few days to prepare. I looked up a couple of basic things: what quality assurance stands for, what do they do. Really researched a little bit about test itself. What does it test? What does the test mean? What does it mean to write a test case? A little bit about functional testing, a little bit about regression testing. Really haven't read a lot because, well, again, I was like, what, 21, 22, spending my life in, nightclubs and bars. Well, let's see. I'm unemployed, but hey, I have parents to help me out, right? So that was my thinking at that point. So, I'm in an interview. I don't remember all the details. It, again, was 20 years ago, but the interview flew by pretty fast. They kind of just, okay, how was college, blah, blah, blah. So they really didn't ask me any big questions. Perhaps a lot of people who were talking to me didn't really even know what QA really is. And what you will find is that if you go into startups and you really don't really have a QA department per se, which startups really don't. They might not have a QA manager. It could be some dev manager looking for somewhere, or maybe project manager. They might not even know all the details. They just know they need somebody to test things. So they might not even ask you any questions. But sometimes when you do have a QA manager, then you're a little bit harder for you to pass that initial screen test. You do need to be prepared at least to answer basic questions. That's what they are looking for. Long story short, I got the job. It was working for a speech recognition company. So basically, I would be wearing headphones most of the day, and basically it would be like a telephonized response system, right? Which all over the place now, but 20 plus years ago, it was something new where, they will make a phone call to you, like, for example, a medical company, right? Let's say you're diabetic, right? And they would ask you a couple of questions. You would say yes, no, and provide some answers, and they would record that, your responses, and then the software would process it and send it back to insurance company, right? So things like that, right? So I had like a paper script in front of me. It says it's supposed to say if the customer says A, that's where the phone call goes. If they say B, it goes the other way, right? So it was a pretty simple script. It was a lot of them. They would release phone calls every other day, right? So normally it was a manual. It had nothing to do with scripting. There was no automation. It was all manual. Again, too much in my head, right? Was I successful at their first job? No. Did I learn a whole lot of it? Yes. I was there for about 9 months, maybe almost 10 months. It was very hard because a lot of things were broken. There were very junior engineers, very junior process, or no development process at all, really. So everything was broken all the time. Things didn't work the way planned. People were coming and going, like a startup environment, right? So, but I took an opportunity there and learned, how to write test cases, how to be successful even in an environment where everything is all over the place. And that's what most likely you're going to end up to be as a junior individual, right? Don't expect that Microsoft or Google is going to hire you. That's not going to happen. But, these companies, they start up, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what you're doing, but you need to know what you're doing, right? So what's the point of all of this, right? If you want to become a quality assurance person, right, you really need to do your reading. There is an interesting book called Quality Process for Quality Processes that you can look up in Amazon. Just go to Amazon and says, hey, typing word quality, test, software quality. There's a lot of books out there. There's one book I can recommend. It's called Practitioner's Guide to Design Software Test. It's by Lee Copeland. Really good book. I read it in 2003. The guy looks really like a geek, computer geek, just like me. But I really like it. Read up, get it. It's probably $20-$25. Maybe you can find free online, which is even better. First 100 pages are excellent. After that, it gets boring. Just read those 100 pages. You can probably do it in a weekend, right? And then you know your basics. It will have all the basics. How to start the test. What do you need? Test plan, test cases, scenarios, requirements, design, functional regression, performance, all of that. First 100 pages over the weekend, and I can guarantee you will pass a basic interview. Seriously, guys, very easy. I know right now there's a lot of remote jobs, and that's possibly the future of the work. It's even easier, but you can work in any country, in any culture, right? But basically everybody is looking for the same thing. They're looking for quality people who love their job. So you need to like it. You might not, and if you read those 100 pages, you're like, this is not for me. This is either boring or something. I would say do not continue, because this is, a very specific field. A lot of people like it. Most people like who do it. But if you don't, you will end up fail, because you will have a bad quality product and everybody will point fingers at you. They will point their fingers anyway, right? Because quality QA is the last person technically to look at the product. Well, tell you guys, as you grow in your career, you'll be able to defend yourself, right? That this, quality has to be not only coming from you, it needs to come from development, from PM, from everybody in the organization. But that's when you get more advanced. Right now, you just need to, do the reading, get 1 or 2 books. You guys can read it over the weekend. All the books start from basics. First 100 pages, and I can guarantee you, if you have a good memory, you can pass a basic interview for newbies. So I encourage you to do that, right? And then my next set of videos would be talking to a little bit more advanced people and how to pass a more advanced interview, and then we're going to get into the senior. So stay tuned. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.